Alfred Hitchcock, often called the master of suspense, is one of cinema's most influential directors. Known for his distinct style and innovations in psychological thrillers and horror, he created a cinematic legacy that remains impactful. Here's an in-depth look at his life, filmmaking techniques, and iconic movies. Birth, August 13, 1899, Leytonstone, London, England. Death, April 29, 1980, Bel Air, Los Angeles, California, USA. Born to a working-class Catholic family, Hitchcock was a shy and introverted child. His strict upbringing influenced many of his film's themes, particularly his tendency to explore guilt and justice. Hitchcock's fascination with storytelling in film began early. He studied engineering and art before starting his film career as a title card designer for silent films in the early 1920s, working his way up through British cinema. Hitchcock directed his first film, The Pleasure Garden, 1925, but it was The Lodger, a story of the London fog, 1927, a thriller about a serial killer, that marked his true breakthrough. This film introduced his signature themes, including suspense, mistaken identity, and innocent individuals in peril. His early British films, like The 39 Steps, 1935 and Sabotage, 1936, established his reputation for taut storytelling and visual inventiveness. In 1939, Hitchcock moved to Hollywood, where he achieved great success and creative freedom. His first American film, Rebecca, 1940, won the Academy Award for Best Picture. This adaptation of Daphne du Maurier's novel introduced American audiences to Hitchcock's distinctive style. In Hollywood, he directed some of his most famous films, often with increasingly complex plots and a greater psychological edge. Hitchcock's style is iconic and includes numerous innovative techniques. Suspense over surprise. Hitchcock preferred to build suspense by allowing the audience to know something the characters did not, creating dramatic tension. MacGuffin, this plot device, which he often used, is an object or goal that characters chase without being fully explained or relevant to the story's end. Cameo appearances. Hitchcock made brief appearances in almost all his films, adding a playful signature to his work. Camera techniques. He pioneered techniques like the dolly zoom, famous in Vertigo, complex tracking shots, and innovative angles to heighten psychological tension. Hitchcock worked with legendary actors, including James Stewart, Grace Kelly, and Cary Grant. His collaborations with composer Bernard Herrmann produced unforgettable scores, like the iconic, screeching violins in Psycho. He was knighted shortly before his death, cementing his place as a major cultural figure. Today, Hitchcock's films continue to be revered for their craft, with Vertigo and Psycho often ranking among the greatest films ever made. Despite his enduring legacy, Hitchcock never won an Academy Award for Best Director, though he was nominated 5 times. However, he received the Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award in 1968 for his contributions to cinema. Hitchcock's movies often explore dark, psychological, and suspenseful themes. Here are some of his most iconic works. Sabotage, 1936, based on Joseph Conrad's novel The Secret Agent, this film explores espionage and terrorism. Shadow of a Doubt, 1943, Hitchcock's favorite of his own films, centering on a young girl who suspects her uncle may be a serial killer. Lifeboat, 1944, set entirely on a lifeboat during World War II, following survivors of a torpedoed ship. Hitchcock explores themes of survival, human nature, and morality. Spellbound, 1945, a psychological thriller about a psychiatrist Ingrid Bergman trying to help an amnesiac man Gregory Peck who may be guilty of murder. Known for its dream sequence designed by Salvador Dali. Notorious, 1946, a spy thriller starring Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman. It's renowned for its intricate plot and innovative cinematography, especially the famous kiss sequence. Rope, 1948, an experimental thriller shot to look like one continuous take, following 2 men who murder a friend just to see if they can get away with it. It examines themes of morality and intellectual elitism. Strangers on a Train, 1951, a suspenseful thriller about 2 men who swap murders to avoid getting caught. It explores the concept of duality and the darkness in human nature. Rear Window, 1954, a voyeuristic thriller where a photographer, confined to his apartment, suspects his neighbor of murder. This film explores themes of observation and isolation. The Wrong Man, 1956, based on a true story, this film is about a man wrongfully accused of a crime. It's a serious and realistic take on themes of mistaken identity and the justice system. The Man Who Knew Too Much, 1956, a suspense thriller starring James Stewart and Doris Day. This was Hitchcock's own remake of his 1934 British film, about a family caught up in a kidnapping plot. Vertigo 1958, often cited as one of the greatest films ever, it follows a detective with a crippling fear of heights who becomes obsessed with a woman he's hired to follow. Vertigo explores identity, obsession, and psychological trauma. North by Northwest 1959, a mistaken identity thriller with a unique blend of suspense and adventure. Known for its iconic crop duster and Mount Rushmore scenes, it showcases Hitchcock's use of suspense in both confined and open spaces. Psycho 1960, a groundbreaking horror thriller and a turning point in American cinema, famous for the shower scene. Psycho introduced audiences to the slasher genre and was a bold exploration of violence, sexuality, and psychological horror. The Birds 1963, a horror thriller about birds inexplicably attacking humans, featuring environmental dread and unexplained terror, a precursor to ecological horror. These movies showcase Hitchcock's versatile storytelling abilities, from intense thrillers and psychological studies to experiments in cinematography and dark humor. Hitchcock's diverse body of work has something for everyone and continues to inspire directors, writers, and fans of cinema worldwide.